Meat production is at 40%. These guys are close. Got about 2 more months and they're gonna give birth. We have 73,000 straw. I want that. If we do 10 bales at 11,000 each, that'll be 110. That'll put us up to 180,000. So that's good. My concerns are the amount of silage and hay that we have, and the potential that we're going to have to buy bales at the store. And harvester's full again. So we can fit about 1.3 loads from a harvester in this trailer. That's kind of not a lot. Oh. Wrong side. I can't leave that there. That's annoying. This will take the full 12,500. Get back to rolling straw. On the other fields I had the sort of the smaller John Deere. First 3 contracts I did, it was a little bit easier for the baler to keep up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and done. And the other thing I am thinking is it might be worth having 2 balers on the farm. One for straw, one for hay. Well, I don't know. The thing is it doesn't matter so much. Part of the deal is we're baling up stuff we always need. So it doesn't matter if I end up with partial straw bale or partial hay bale in the baler. It'll convert, generally it will convert over into the thing I am making next. So it's not like you lose any, it's just that you end up converting some to something else. What else is the deal with Maize Plus? Really, I haven't explored it. So this is all going to be a relatively new learning experience as we go. The only experience I've got with Maize Plus is that time we were using it in on Oakfield Farm in Farm Sim 19. So, but that's all changed because we were playing Maize Plus with Realismus's seasons. And so to make hay, you had to make semi-dry grass and then leave it for time. And then the drying out was dependent upon the temperature and the moisture. So the thing we've had here is there's no real moisture tracking with giants. So we can get harvesting at 3 o'clock in the morning if we want, and nothing untoward is going to happen. I do like this little tractor. We used it way back on Lawfolds for our sort of light field work, spraying lime. No, not lime. We had a huge lime spreader. Did we? Maybe lime wasn't a thing back then, but no, we were still plough 3 times rather, or plough every 3rd harvest rather than lime every 3rd harvest. But fertilizer spreading, fertilizer spraying, all done by this little guy. I think occasionally I used it to weed the grass fields, because that added fertilization levels back then. Of course, we didn't have precision farming. Okay, very careful. Looks like the harvest is finished. Looks like I knocked over my bale. So, what else? Yeah, so I've got a little bit of work to do outside today. And then maybe I'll get to some of the other stuff I didn't get around to doing last weekend because... oh wait, yeah. I think the deal was I replaced the porch light last weekend and it took me a few hours rather than 20 minutes. Basically because the porch light that had been out there for 20 years, and there was a lot of corrosion and thus a lot of language not fit for YouTube. But that's all done. We lost one of our last 2 mollies this week. It's not been very well, so it's been sort of very stationary on the bottom of the tank for the last couple of weeks, and unfortunately one of our snails discovered it and decided to chew its tail off, which kind of makes it impossible for a fish to swim. So that fish is now gone, sadly. So we're now down to 1 molly. I'm probably not going to get any more. The mollies have not done well in our tank. The platies are breeding like rabbits. Oops. So that's a thing. I guess since we've now caught up with the harvester, I'm going to park this here, turn it off, and we'll jump over here. That's not nearly full enough. Well, it's not as full as it could be, shall we say. It's probably the better way of saying it. need to get that at around 90 degrees and set it off on a worker at this time. Going to collect a load of the bales that are on the ground. It'll give us access to some of the straw I've missed. Looking at the back of the harvester thinking, good grief, that's a big pile of straw. And it's not. It's the dust from the straw swath. Let me through. Pretty much got most of the straw here. I'm actually happy with this. We've done quite well. As I said, probably 10 straw bales into the shredder once this is all done. And the rest maybe go into the feed bins. Maybe not. We'll see. It looks like it's probably about 4,000 litres of straw per day used with Maize Plus as bedding, which makes 4,000 litres of slurry per day, and that's day that I'm playing, so that's a third of a month. 12,000 litres per month, and so we're going to be chewing through straw quite substantially. And then you've got food, and food looks to be about 150,000 litres of silage, 150,000 litres of, no, more. Lots. I sort of looked at how much it did and thought, ugh, this is going to be a lot of work, even only at 30 cows. It's going to be a lot of work keeping up with the animals. So we're going to have to watch our food usage and consider how many cows we can actually support. I think because the area that the robot gets its supplies from is seriously increased. It's not a problem about where can we put all this stuff pre-mix. It's not like I'm going to need a bale barn that can hold 700 bales. What it's going to be is how much work we have to do. We make, I think it's about 200,000 litres per field, which is all fine and wonderful, but we have to make sure that our cows are not eating more than 100,000 litres per month, because we can only harvest those fields every other month. And additionally, winter is a problem. Actually, winter's a bigger problem. because we can't rely on grazing because there's no grass to graze. And we're not going to have any silage or hay coming in for the entirety of winter. We may end up having to buy bales in at that point. But we should have an idea of what's what and how much before winter, although it's August now, we've got September, November. We've got 2 more cuts and then nothing till spring. And I do have 2 cuts of silage in the clamp, which needs to be removed. Okay. Don't think that's the field done. Whoa, bouncy, bouncy. So I don't think all of this is going to fit into the grain cart. And I may be surprised. Well, colour me surprised. Close that. I really was expecting that to not all fit. So, surprising result there. And that should work a little bit better than last time. Drop. Magically shift. Magically shift. Ding. There we go. We can fold up the top. That connected. I'll probably park that in the middle of the field for now. Okay, so that now needs to go to field 7. That needs to go to the store. That's what they've given us for the next harvest. Well, here we are. Let's go pick up some bales and we'll get back to making more of them. And so I'm definitely holding off emptying the grains until we've baled this field entirely, because I don't want to lose any of these bales. And as I said, there is, at least as far as my knowledge is concerned, the possibility that if you complete a contract, which technically we've now done, we delivered. Did we really deliver 21,000? I thought it was only 18. We've got to deliver 18,000 litres of wheat. As soon as we do that, if the game crashes or I have to save and exit, then we lose the contract. I think we can stay on that screen. So I just want to make sure that we have all the straw collected before we're in a position where the game finishes the contract done. We're not going to collect on it. We'll try and use the equipment we have to complete the next contract, because it's just bigger. It's going to take us less time. Oh, I also use the Massey 5 for either windrowing or tedding as well. It's a very useful little tractor. This one less so. It doesn't have a front 3-point. I could buy that, but it doesn't need it, and I don't really see a need for it at this time. Now, if at some stage we're using this tractor to fertilize, to spray fields, I'm either going to need to add crop sensors on the mirrors, or I'm going to need to carry a crop sensor on the front. Now, in all likelihood, our Deutz is going to be the first and last tractor we have mirror mounted crop sensors on. Going forward, what we're probably going to be looking at is I want the ability to spray any field with any tractor. So we'll be looking at the active sensor rather than the passive one, which does mean we'll be able to spray the crops at night time. Now, I don't think any of the self-propelled sprayers come with spot and spray for use with herbicide. It's probably something to investigate while we're doing this. 7, 8, 9. There you go. Crop protection. These things. So you can put the things on there so you can see the crops, but no spot and spray on that one, and again not on that one. They both take herbicide, so our herbicide sprayer is going to be limited to a trailed unit, and obviously the number of fields we're expecting to expand to is probably going to mean that we need larger sprayers, which we now have because store sales, yay. One bale there, one bale there. I got about 3 more, I think. There's not enough straw to make another bale here, obviously. However, we're going to carry it forward to the next field. Wherein it might be a little bit more significant. Okay, lift that, turn that off, turn that off. Guess we can jump into this one. Oops. I think the farm is doing okay. Obviously September, September is going to be another grass cutting day, and so we're going to have to sell some of our silage. We're either going to have to use or sell some of our silage, but we have all of the silages ready to sell, or it will be by tonight, early tomorrow morning. The rain warning, that's 7 o'clock this evening. It's now 5 o'clock. I'm pretty certain that we are going to get the harvesting done. Yes, this one. So it looks like field 7 is going to sell at it might be by the store, or it might be down by down towards the bakery, the place not quite at the bakery. Either way, it's a little bit more of a drive, but hey, JCB goes fast. And then, but we'll be able to cut across country from field 7. One thing I have now noticed, once I claim the contract for harvest complete, there is a cultivate contract on the field, but it can disappear within an hour. So, for example, this was the last field I did a contract on, and it is already cultivated, and I finished doing that at about 1 o'clock game time. So, yeah, you really have to step on the contracts if you want them. If you're the one that did the harvest, I think the thing is if the game did the harvest, then the cultivating contract might well last a little bit longer. But it's still that problem of contracts disappearing very, very quickly. Oh, right. Yeah, I loaded the straw harvest mod into the Oakfield Farm playthrough, but then I just didn't bother using it. I think the problem with the straw harvest is the production facility is incredibly pricey, and I could never justify paying for that with all the rest of the stuff I had.